We are not unique at this time frame and this time period in terms of the issues the body has. The body has always had issues. The children of Israel as a nation always had issues that caused division, and the reasons for it and the underlying causes are no different now than they were then or then than they are now. What we're going to find out in all of this, the reason why unity is important and why we have the division issues is because we don't seem to fully grasp that all of this is about Him. Your life, the world you live in, everything that exists is in existence and exists for the purpose of His purposes. In other words, this is all about Him. Not just knowing about them doesn't teach you enough. Oh, I've heard of God. I've heard of the Father. I've heard of the Son. I've heard of Messiah. I heard a few things about them. That doesn't do anything for you except get you started. You need that information to start you down a path. But as you really get to know them, then you'll understand the rest of the story, like follow me, be in same manner as, imitate me, be transformed into the image of the Son, obey, guard, keep, all these things that have to do with. Then you also know that the desire is to bless, keep safe. Okay, all of these things start in coming out of a knowing relationship. Yeshua said, I revealed to these, the ones you gave me. He said, I have revealed to the men you gave me out of the world your name. See, now the sacred namers will think he gave them the secret understanding of how to say Yahweh or Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever way you pronounce it. It had nothing to do with that. He said, I revealed to them who you are, your character, your nature, your authority. In other words, what that name stands for, what it represents. He said, and all mine are yours, and yours are mine, and I have been esteemed in them. Now remember, he's only honored in them if we're doing what? Receiving the word and guarding the word. Otherwise, we are not honoring him. Yeshua said, yours are mine are yours, and because you gave them to me, and when you gave them to me, I honored them and took care of them as if they were yours, because they are, and they have honored me back because they have done what I've taught them to do, which you taught me to do. You know, I was going to get into more detail about this whole thing of Echad or one. You know, the first appearance of the word is in Genesis when it says, and it was evening and it was morning, day one, or one day. Multiple things together made it something that was one. And so this echadness, this coming together, this understanding that something is one doesn't mean that it's actually singular, but it's multiple things together being and acting as if they are one inseparable unit. That's what the body is supposed to be. He says, so I've given myself to them, I've given the Torah to them, I've given your word to them, and the world hated them because they're not of the world, as I am not of the world. So we're going to be hated by the world. So stop getting all upset and depressed and frustrated when the world doesn't love you. Because a lot of you will call us up and talk about how your sister, your brother, your mother, your boss, your coworkers, your friends, and all these people that used to be all wonderful with you are no longer so wonderful with you. Well, because you've made a choice. He says the world, and we know this, hated him. And so why would we be surprised that the world hates us? He says, you sent me into the world. I also sent them into the world. So you have a job in the world. It may not be discipling and teaching people per se. It may not be, whatever other lofty thing you may think. It may be as simple of living the life where people can see it and the fruit it bears. We all have that role. What we do in representing him is what tells the world that he was sent by the Father. So when the enemy, I know the Staples, that was easy button didn't exist back then, but when the enemy stirs us up and we are not unified and we're not in unity and we're fighting and striving and in division, it's like hitting that button going, boop, that was easy. Now the world doesn't know that the Father sent the Son. Because just like he said, they will know you're my students if you love one another, he says the world will know that the Father sent the Son when you do this. That's his desire. This is his heart. This is his prayer. Because verse 18 says, and having said these words, Yeshua went out. This was it. This was that big, and what is let's wrap the whole thing up into simplicity. Father, I came here to do something and I accomplished it. And I've given them stuff to do and they're accomplishing it. And all I want is for them to know what it's like to feel what I feel, which is to be one with you. I want them to be one with each other and one with us. My desire is unity.